Divine and favor, we're covered forever. Moving in grace, we treasure. Heaven wrote the story, we just live the letter. Divine and favor.
We're here. We're running. This journey that we've been in our covenant culture has been, what would you think? What would you say?
It's been, let's see, I feel like we've had a lot of great moments, great covenant moments, had a lot of breakthrough moments.
This trip specifically has more breakthroughs than we could have anticipated.
Yeah.
Like, is it something that we want to share? Do we go into the depth of things, or how much do you feel like you want to?
I feel like, we can share it. I feel like, transparency is key,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like us creating this covenant culture in a whole is not only to expand the kingdom, but also to help people in relation spaces. Right. Because a lot of times when we think about vacations, people just going out having a good time, we think, oh, everything's going to be great. Right. How honest are you being as a whole? Are you really being who you truly are? And if you are being who you truly are, how does that affect the other person that you're with in that relationship space with? I feel like, especially us being in our 40s, where I'm already one way, you're one way. So it's like, how do we make that mesh and come together as one?
Let's give a prime
Yeah.
example. She's a partier.
Yes.
I'm not a partier.
Yes.
So
I'm just a partier, but like fun. That's just for fun, not like when I'm home. I don't party, but when I'm thinking about vacation, I'm on vacation party mode. That's my vacation mindset. Yeah.
I wasn't ready for her vacation mindset ever, right? So I'm learning about what she likes and what she likes to do. She believes that if you spend X amount of dollars, amount of good money to do vacation, then it's like enjoy every bit of the vacation. Almost like if you ate at a buffet and you pay the buffet price to eat, you better eat everything. I'm of the mindset where I'm like, be it what it is, that's nice. If it's going out, enjoying things, I like to enjoy it. But if it's not something that I have to do, then it's an option, and I leave it up to how I feel or what makes sense, even if it's been an expensive ticket. So we've had to learn how to compromise even in this space. She believes I'm boring when it comes down to.
I don't think you're boring.
Your foot is all in the camera.
Oh my God.
She has a cruise ship culture.
Yeah.
Be comfortable. Yeah, you be comfortable.
I have short legs, so
That's
I can't
hilarious.
sit like the couch as long as my legs.
That's real talk. She believes she has a cruise ship culture.
It's called, I don't think it's a cruise ship. I think it's a vacation culture as a whole.
Only noticed it on a cruise ship.
I feel like our cruise time has been our vacation time. We haven't like actually gone on a vacation until we went on a cruise.
So I'll say it's a cruise ship culture only because she knows when she's on a cruise ship, there's things to do. So she wants to do almost everything. Me, my culture is I'm on water. I'm away from people a lot of times, meaning family, friends that I'm used to being around. And I like the ability to chill. We both like the ability to eat the food, use the gyms, going out at night. As far as dinner, we'll have great dinner. I'm cool with certain things that don't have to be after dinner, being like parties and stuff like that. She's a dancer, really good, especially with Latin music, but she dances, period. I like to two-step.
The dancer too.
Thank you. I'm just not one to like really put myself out for just every single day for dancing. If I'm with her, we'll have our vibe and we'll catch a vibe. We're just learning something as small as who does what, who likes what. We say all that to say that there's been breakthroughs, but it was a breakthrough moment that specifically really set the tone for us knowing that, God is doing his work through us. Another thing I've come to realize is even when you are with someone in covenant or in your serious relationship towards covenant, you don't just have a blissful journey. You start unfolding and decoding things about the person due to moments that you didn't anticipate.
Yeah.
I was locking in on something with the editing of one of our footage. How did that make you feel at one point? Because it was one point I felt like I was in it for too long. I was doing it too long on a trip, on this trip.
Yeah. Well, just like I said, like it just like we're on a trip, right? So when we're on a trip, I don't want to spend a lot of time in the room unless it's just to sleep.
Yes.
And we have a balcony room, which is so we can hang out on the balcony. There's so much going on the actual ship that I want to really enjoy it. You were up doing your editing, and then I think you said you got like 4 hours of sleep or something like that.
Yeah, just about.
And then so when I got up in the morning, I'm up. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm up. I'm going to get into my, brush my teeth, get myself ready to go to the gym, and let's get the day started. And so, but I got up and then you're like, yeah, I only got like 4 hours of sleep because I was editing and I think I need like 1 more hour of sleep. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then, so I go out to the balcony, I come back in and he got back into his editing mode instead of going back to sleep. So at this time, I'm like, we're gonna make it to the gym. Like, we done wasted morning in the room and didn't make it to the gym. So I was a little annoyed by that. I was a little agitated by that because in my mind, he said he needed another hour of sleep. He's editing. I've been up this whole time waiting. Are you still gonna need your hour of sleep? So that's just what my mindset was. So I was agitated, and you picked up on the vibe.
And to be honest, there's layers to what she's saying without being too explicit or too direct for everybody to be in our personal business. We'll just say that what she was sensitive towards was not wrong, yet it also stemmed from how she was raised, where there was a level of work being put so much in the place of focus that it created negligence. So that's a part of what she has had as a trigger, that if someone is doing too much, it can make what she cares about or make things that are important like family feel neglected. So we were able to tap into that because what happened is I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. She thinks is work. I'm editing. I love editing for what it is that God has given as a vision and we're excited about it. I love being creative. So I'm going to bed 3, 4 in the morning. She sleep. But I love the fact that I can do this because I get to do it. It's not like I got to do it. I end up going to bed late, like 3-something in the morning. I wake up, she's already pretty much up, ready to go. And I felt a little tired, but I knew I was going to have to get an extra hour of sleep. Not saying it had to be immediate, but I knew it was going to be at some point later. So what she heard is, you need an hour because you said you need an hour and you're still editing. You need to go lay down because I got this day in my mind that we need to be taken care of, which isn't bad. For me, I'm thinking about it at some point in time. Through the day, we go through the day. Maybe it's an hour later, but it's not saying it now. Approaches that moment with, of course, what are you doing? Doesn't make sense. I approach it as, what do you mean? And I get defensive because now I feel like I'm being attacked for something that I get to do with her that represents God and covenant. And I love to do this. I get to do it. It's not a job. And this is where the trigger of things happen. She's now triggered by what her upbringing was at some point in time. I'm triggered by having to feel like I got to defend myself for doing something that I didn't do that was wrong. I'm like, what am I doing that's wrong? That said, huge breakthrough moment. Because imagine your past coming out, it coming out in a triggered trauma moment. And then the other person's past, that spouse or partner, their past coming out at the same time. So 2 triggered trauma pasts are both confronting each other in that moment. So yeah, it can be really ugly if it did get out of hand. It can be really hurtful. It can break what you believe you have, a bond. Man, God showed us ourselves in that moment. As we actually caught that moment and made a real big emphasis of giving God the glory because we became very aware that we were addressing things, not at each other, but addressing our trigger and our trauma. And we had to stop and look at the fact that we're on the same team. Holy Spirit gave me insight on how you can feel that way. And it had nothing to do with her being wrong and attacking me because she didn't attack me. It had more to do with where she came from. And then she realized that I'm being defensive. Not because I don't love her and I don't want her to feel safe, but I'm also protecting myself, which made me the runner in the past. What did that moment do for you when you saw that moment took place, a breakthrough and that moment took place?
It just made me realize, like, especially in our age, that we've been through so much, right?
Yeah.
And that there are little triggers that will trigger our trauma that we're not fully aware of, you know? So as for me, it just brought me back to like what you said. I'm a PK. So I grew up in, when you grow up as a PK,
Tell me the PK.
a pastor's kid.
Gotcha.
Okay. So when you grow up as a PK, it's like you see a lot. You are involved in a lot. And for the most part, although pastors, you know, they love the church. So there are many times where as a PK, you can feel a little neglected because a lot of times the parent, instead of being a parent, they get so consumed and involved in the church that they parent more the church than your own child. And not to speak negative on my parents or anything because they did as best as they can, you know, but when you see things like that, those are things that you hold in and you don't realize that they can affect you in your relationship. So, and as crazy as it sounds too, you know, it kind of pours into like your new relationship. You kind of feel like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. So you go into another relationship where somebody does the same thing. They kind of neglect you and put other things ahead of you. But in your head, you're like, well, that's just how life is supposed to be. But then you turn 40 and you have a breakthrough moment.
Tell our age.
And you're like, I don't like that. My favorite word, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
So if I don't like something, I need to vocalize that. I need to use my words. So now that I'm learning, that's something new that I'm learning is to vocalize and to speak up when something is bothering me. If I don't like something, I'm gonna say it. I'm no longer going to just stay shut and feel like that's just normal because
But
it's not.
we respectfully say things. So it's not
Yeah.
the fact that you're not supposed to speak up with someone you're safe with. It's not what you say, it's how you say
It's
it.
how you say it.
That's another lesson in speaking
And
up.
that's something that I'm also learning as well. Is how I learn to say, like how to say things. I can do better with delivering.
Oh yeah, because I can do
Mhm.
the same thing, and
Mhm.
I know that's an art in itself. I've had my share of being in those positions of just trying to do my best. Wasn't perfect, but if it wasn't appreciated, it was dogged out. Then who I got myself. I got to protect myself. I don't have to be like that with you. Yet in that moment though, that 1 hour of sleep and how you looked at it and what I thought it meant for me, I was like, what do you mean? I'm up here doing what we creating the culture. God is giving us something. I'm trying to make sure it's taken care of. I'm gonna do the editing, and I'm good with it. I don't have no issue with it. I get to do this stuff. And you're looking at it like, look, I don't really have a problem with you doing what you're doing, but you got to balance your life. I'm thinking like, what did I do that was unbalanced? I stayed up because I wanted to. If you would have got some sleep,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be talking about needing an extra hour. And I'm like, I'm just saying an extra hour because it could be any part of the day. You're looking at it like the day's gonna be made because I've already made the day with the itinerary, and this is not a part of extending, until whenever. It's about what we need to focus on. Needless to say, I understood what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Even the trigger hit, trauma showed up. It didn't last long. It didn't last long because we realized like, yo, you're speaking from here and I'm speaking from here. And we have this saying that we talk about now, and we'll teach more on it. We'll share more on it, but stop leading with hurt. Lead with your heart. Because most people who are saying hurtful things were already feeling some type of way about what they would like to do or
Mhm.
how they would like to feel until it went past the point of them being able to feel safe. So now, instead of them saying, I missed you and I wish you could have been here during this time because I felt disappointed and I was really excited about seeing you. Now, when they finally get on the phone with you, it's like, where you been? What you mean where I've been? I've been in my skin. I jump out, you jump in. What we talking about? Realistically, what they really want to say is, I missed you.
Mhm.
Don't ever do that. I feel afraid. Because when you lead with your heart, you're technically leading from the first place you felt something from. But if you don't know how to stay vulnerable or stay open to it, then of course, what you're going to do is you're going to say something that's going to make you feel. They're going to feel what you felt. I was hurt. Past how I was wanting to see you, past how I was missing you, past how I wanted to love you. Now it done expired and I feel hurt now. My fear has caused me to feel like I'm not going to let you know how I really felt, but I'm going to let you know how I feel now. So let's look with our heart and not our hurt. Your moment of breakthrough and that moment of us having this discovery.
Mhm.
What did you learn for yourself as well?
I think for me was mostly just, I feel like there could have been better communication instead of me just waiting around and waiting for you to finish and then just kind of being in a low mood. I could have just been like, hey, babe, why don't you go and take your sleep now? So like that, let's do the gym, let's do this. It was just kind of me just waiting around.
Where did that wait from?
It just came from, I've always been in a place where I really couldn't vocalize a lot of things as a child, and that poured into my relationships. I've been in spaces where when I vocalize certain things in past relationships,
And shut down.
people will shut down and they wouldn't talk to me for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, weeks, sometimes even months. So when you've been through certain situations like that, it makes it hard. It makes it hard. You carry that into new relationships without actually realizing it. I know we're not going to go an hour without speaking to each other.
Right.
Not even an hour,
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what, yeah.
I love that.
We won't do that. That's emotional maturity and intelligence,
yep.
right? So that for me was a breakthrough moment. Yes, you dealt with that in your past, but this is a different person. This person's not going to neglect you. Obviously, it's like you said, lead with your heart,
and
not your hurt.
Yeah.
I love that because that's one thing that I've been practicing with our relationship ever since we had that one breakthrough moment in the past that brought that phrase up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, when I speak up, let me speak up with love and not be at a place where I feel like I have to defend myself too. Speak up and be like, just have an attitude. You felt defensive when I said there needed to be some balance.
Yeah, because I felt like my heart was already geared towards our growth in the form of what we're building and what God has given us the opportunity to do. So I just felt like in my mind, I'm doing what I love to do overtime for where this is going. But I didn't realize that as I'm doing it, am I really sacrificing the space that's necessary to stay healthy? Because the next day is still needing me, like you're needing me and I'm needing you. So maybe it's a balance of window. How long should I be doing this, right? I think I mentioned that to you. I'm like, maybe I said, next time, tell me, give me, and it's okay, man, for us to have these moments with our ladies and be able to say, listen, babe, tell me when you think enough is enough. Give me a curfew because it's not me anymore. And I think sometimes we think as adults, we're just beyond a balance. We're beyond submissiveness and being able to find a healthy way of relating so we both can build together and not just what I used to be is singular and her singular. So I felt that what I was defending was coming from a place of not feeling appreciated as I'm pushing for the bigger vision. You're like, that's great. Balance is healthy though. And you brought that into my world in that moment. And I had to receive it. Truth be told, a lot of us don't receive anything when we're in our feelings. So you got to get out of your feelings, process it, and then it starts to make sense. Not thinking about it from how you feel about it, more so what the person's intention was. Her intention was to make sure I find balance. Because if I had balance, I won't be tired. Which means our day can go a certain way that can be more smooth versus having to make up in a new day from what was not managed the day before. So you weren't wrong for what you said. I think the way it hit me, it always hurts in the beginning. When your ego a little bit hit a nerve.
So that hit his nerve.
Yeah,
but I didn't say with the attitude.
No, you didn't say
I
it
was
with
just saying
attitude.
there needs to be balance.
Yeah. But then Holy Spirit, of course, would correct us because we're open to that type of correction.
Yeah. So I think as for me, my biggest thing, I should have said something ahead of time before it lingered a little bit to the point where you could tell I was perturbed.
Oh, that's a big word. My defense. What I was going through in the season before meeting you was filtering out a lot of trauma. When you came in my life, it was like, I can't afford to mess this up, knowing that I know better. So I was ready to level up. God gave me the level up that I needed. So I believe a key takeaway for some people in this season is don't look for the level up if you ain't level up.
That part. Yeah.
Not leveling up with your money and your bank account and how your fitness is great. Level up with the reality of the relationships you had in the past. Why didn't it work? Not even the relationships you had in the past as an adult or a young adult. The relationship you had that was the foundation of family. What were you in that relationship? Were you the one that was told to be quiet? Were you the one that was ignored? Were you the one that always led and you became very controlling? Were you the one that was just very much laid back? You didn't care about nothing? Find out where you were in that foundational space, because the piece of you in that space, relationship-wise, can easily be carried over into your adult life. Literally, you're marrying someone else that you are going to grow to learn and love on behalf of who they are, where they came from, their culture. That's why it's good to be equally yoked.
Yes. My biggest thing is just communicate. Just learn to communicate. Don't let anything linger. Don't hold things inside, because that builds resentment and that can put you in a really bad place psychologically, mentally, physically, and it can just ruin things. And is it really worth it when you can just use your words wisely? You don't have to get out of character. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be mean, but just be okay with expressing how you feel vocally. And sometimes it can be hard, because that's hard for me. Like I tell them all the time, like I have a hard time sometimes to putting words into place, if that makes any sense. Like
fancy word earlier. Perturbed.
I struggle with that.
We stopped. We working on this too. This is for another episode.
We are working on
We're
that.
not talking about I struggle. Power of life and death lies in the tongue.
That is right.
If you feel like you struggle, you don't have to say you struggle.
I'm working on it.
Come on.
So I'm working on doing better with using my words and putting the right words together. I will say that moving forward, I will be more vocal with love and speak in a place of love. I will lead with my heart and not with my hurt. Definitely.
We have an amazing journey that's ahead of us.
Yes.
As we're moving forward, we're going to continue to share unapologetic, unashamed, rightly dividing what truth and word is, and being vulnerable and being emotionally transparent. We love you. So stay Holy Spirit fed and Holy Spirit led. And until next time.
Till next time.
Divine and favor, we're covered forever. Moving in grace, we treasure. Heaven wrote the story, we just live the life.